ready to win. We have a strategy, and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see. Yeah, I will reach my destiny. Yeah, I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Cause we're gonna make some declarations in here today. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh, say I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, we are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Hey, yeah, yeah. We have powerful words, we have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work, we're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over.
We're in the studio jamming. Yeah. You guys know that the amazing Tammy Turner sponsored that song, Playtime is Over, for us here on Impact the World Radio. She wrote and produced that song, and we're just so grateful to use it. Every time I come, every Wednesday I come here, I'm pumped up just from the song, just the music. I'm like, yes, like I can get with that. And then the words are so powerful. So if you don't know her, connect with her, Tammy Turner. Connect with her on Facebook and all across social media. She has had a phenomenal singing career, and she does so many other things. Like she writes, she produces, she sings, she acts. Like she's just a bad sister, right? If you know a bad sister, type her. If you guys are on Facebook, Facebook Live, just type it in the feed, that bad sister that you know, somebody who is just bad to the bone. Because as women, we got to get into the habit of celebrating each other more, right?
Absolutely,
like, who's going to celebrate us and we don't celebrate us? So anyway, welcome back. We are here every Wednesday from 12 to 2, Impact the World Radio. I'm your host, Cheryl Wood, and I always have the privilege of sitting next to so many phenomenal women who are just doing their thing, showing up in the world in greatness, and I love it. It just energizes me. Somebody called me yesterday, and I typically don't answer my phone if I don't know the number,
right?
Because my husband be fussing. He be like, "Look at here." We ain't giving away services for free. Like, y'all, if y'all don't understand, your husband will become your accountability partner.
I know, that's right.
He's like, no. We're not going to be doing that talking on the phone for 45 minutes, and that was a free consultation.
Yeah.
So we stopped that a long time ago, but for some reason I was moving and rushing and answered the phone, and the person, sure enough, was somebody who wanted to connect, which is, that's fine. And they were kind of talking to me about, I got to go, right? But they were just like, I love your energy. I'm like, that's what happens when you do what you love. And you're walking in your divine assignment. I believe there is an energy that just exudes from you that people can't contain. So with that said, I got to give a shout out to two people. I got to give a huge shout out to Miss Riri, Cherie Riri Edwards, who has a catering company here in the local DMV, African-American owned, woman owned. That sister is bad to the bone. She's actually going to be catering an event that I have. My daughter is going to her 8th grade prom. Yes, they have 8th grade prom now. And my baby is all A and B students, so she getting whatever. You going to your prom? Okay, we going to your prom. You want a princess dress? You getting a princess dress. Like when they good kids who ain't getting no trouble.
That's right.
That little stuff don't mean nothing. So she actually is going to cater that event for us. And so I talked to her briefly. I didn't even talk to her. She left me a Facebook message on Messenger this morning, and I was fired up just from her message. She was so pumped up. Like, I love people that have that kind of energy about what they do, and that's what she said. She was like, I feel this way because I love what I do. So I'm shouting her out, and I also want to shout out Gloria Mayfield Banks. I don't know how many of you know her or don't know her, but you need to Google her. So she is the top level achiever in Mary Kay, the top level achiever overall and African-American achiever in Mary Kay. I mean, literally has become a millionaire through Mary Kay. And I've had the privilege recently of connecting with her at an event I went to. And then again, we did some talking by phone, and we're hoping to do some collaborations together. But I am signed up for one of her programs. Yeah. Even the motivator needs to be motivated.
That's right.
And even the person who is always serving and pouring to everybody else, right? You know this.
Yes.
You got to make sure you pour it back into. Yeah. And so she had the first session last night. Y'all, let me tell you, it was everything. It was such a pivotal reminder for me that, Cheryl, you know what? This is why you can't stop doing what you do, because this is what you do for other people. Yeah. So you're getting what you need from her, the energy, the good vibes, the reminder that you got to keep persistent. But then you turn back and you give that to other people. So look, you got to know what your gift is, know what your lane of brilliance is, and you got to play all out in that thing, because somebody needs you. Yes. Amen, y'all. Amen. All right. So let's move on. Let's keep things moving. Yes. This beautiful sister next to me, this beautiful hair, beautiful dress, and this great personality is Dr. Tracy Blanchard. She is an anointed, appointed, dynamic deliverer of the Word of God. She has broadcast on Radio 1, the Word Network, and Impact Network. Talk about impact. There you go. Reaching more than 200 countries and 87 million people. Through Tracy Blanchard Ministries and her entrepreneurial endeavors, she has mentored and empowered youth and their families. She's also the proprietor and operator of Tracy's Beauty Salon and Boutique. See, that's why you so fly. Last year, she launched her own cosmetic line. I love this. Face Beats by Tracy. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
You look
so
gorgeous.
Much.
Like, you just have this radiant glow about you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you make me want to go put on some gold lipstick.
So do you. It's the energy. That's what you were talking about. When you had that momentum. You get up every morning in purpose.
Yes.
You just wear it. It exudes out of you. And
but talk about that, because sometimes people look at people like you who are serving the world, and people like myself and the other guests today, and they feel like we never have a bad day.
Oh, we do.
So talk about the bad day, but how you press through the bad day.
Well, my go-to is always prayer. Mm-hmm. My go-to, I wake up in prayer, I go to sleep in prayer, because we have to come out to this world and we don't know what we're going to encounter on any given day. Yeah. So we have to stay centered. We have to stay motivated. We have to stay spiritually sound. And I think every day I'm determined not to let anything break me, anything beat me, to show up with the light on me, because we're in such a dark time. Yeah. And people need such hope.
You know what? That is so true.
And we can't be adding to just the depression and the darkness and showing them bitter and evil. And, you know, so I try to put on the right countenance, you know, I have a biblical word, but the right spirit. I try to get dressed up in Him first.
Yeah, I love that. Get dressed up in Him first.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, the clothes don't matter, the hair, the makeup. If what's inside of you doesn't come out, because I've seen some dressed up mess.
Yeah.
You know, where folks look good and then they start talking, you be like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Not what I want to be connected to.
Yeah.
So it's important that from the inside out.
Yeah, and I think, you know, like you mentioned, that we're in such dark times. I was listening to, and I very rarely listen to news. I usually go to Twitter. This is the honest truth, y'all. Okay. I'm a social media girl. I go to Twitter real quick. I get an update on what's happening because they tell you the top stories. Yeah. And that's it. And I just kind of, you know, disconnect myself from negative information and news because you will be depressed. But I was listening to the radio on the way here, and there was a story about these 2 officers who have been arrested because they literally were trying to meet quota. Okay. And so they pinned a charge, a burglary charge on a 16-year-old boy. Baltimore? This was, it was somewhere local because it's our local news. But I'm like, what? So they literally made up false charges and pinned it on a 16-year-old so that they could meet their quota of having 100% record of whatever it is, arrest or whatever.
Oh, it's just
Are you kidding me?
Right.
You're shifting somebody's life. Yes. For a meet a quota. And so when you talk about dark times, and then you said something else very powerful about being a dressed up mess. Yeah. Look at the people who have, you know, rest in peace to the folks who have taken their lives and felt like there was no hope and there was no way out. Like we had a whole segment on mental wellness and mental health here recently, and we need that more and more because we are in dark times. We do. Yes, so tell us all about all this greatness that you've been doing in the world, showing up, impacting the world, touching people's lives. Like, where did that, I always like to ask every person who comes here, guest, where did that stem from? How did you get started in knowing that you had a voice to help the voiceless?
Okay, well, I'd have to go back to losing my best friend. And it was such a low time, to the point that after she made her transition, I can remember going home in my apartment and just sitting on the floor. Wow. I didn't even want to sit on the couch because that's how low I was, you know? And the Lord began to speak to me. He said, this is not where you die. This is not where you die. This is where you understand now just how fragile life is. Yes. And that it can be gone in a minute. Yes. What are you going to do with it? Yep. What are you going to do with it? And how are you going to take what you feel for her and give it away to somebody else? Somebody that's here, somebody who can feel it, somebody who needs it. So I started a nonprofit organization called Angel Youth Outreach Ministry in 2001. Where I would cook for like 40, 50 kids in the public housing. Wow. And I would go over once a week out of my kitchen. Yeah. Go to Costco or Sam's. And, you know, and that's why I tell people, don't wait for titles. Yeah. You know, if you're passionate about it, start right where you are. You know, if you see a need, start where you are. Shouldn't nobody have to give you a title or a degree or certification. If it's something in your heart to do, do it where you are. Absolutely. Let the titles catch up with you if they will. Absolutely. You know, because at the end of the day, it should be about serving mankind and serving, you know, and just doing good, knowing that you can do something to impact somebody's life. And so I stayed over in Highland public housing for about 8 years. Wow. Started my church there on the drug strip, gun inspire and everything. So, you know, if God would have told me, though, that was the whole plan. I wouldn't. You were like, what? Wait I wouldn't even went over there. Right, exactly. Because I was like, God, I just want to serve these kids. I want to help them. And then he said, well, if you love me, feed my sheep. I was like, you don't see all these people? Right. You can't help the kids without helping the families. So then we started feeding whole families. And then DC Central Kitchen jumped in and, you know, people began to aid and bring resources. And so it was a great thing. So I stayed over in the public house, a very learning and development time in terms of ministry, just dealing with all kinds of people and all kinds of issues. And so that's how I started. And from there, Tracy Blanchard Ministries came about. I got on TV and have done TV and probably going back sometime soon, Impact Network. And God is just, you know, and I say to people all the time, if he can't trust you in a small place, he will never take you to the big place.
You better believe it. You got to be that faithful steward over the small before he ever elevates you and makes you a steward over anything else. And so you have to be a responsible steward over what he gives you right now. Now.
Because little becomes much, of course, you know, when you put it in his hand. But more important, your integrity. Yeah. To show up every week, to have kids count on you for that meal, and then not show up. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So God's watching, and you might think, oh, it don't matter because there's no light, there's no camera, there's no mic, but he's watching to see if I can trust you in the wilderness place. Can I trust you in the low place? Because when I take you high, that same character is going to have to be there to keep you there.
That's so powerful. I know you guys are like loving this conversation. I'm loving the conversation. I'm just all like, because it's so true. It is so true. And I've experienced that even in my own journey. And look, the reality is the devil always going to try to do his part, which is to try to break you, try to discourage you, try to disappoint you, right? You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. And you have to be committed to the why without the lights, the camera, the action, because it is not always going to be a public spectacle. So like you said, that speaks to integrity and your heart space. Right. What are you really aligned with what you believe you're supposed to be doing? And so you will show up even when there's no attention on it, even when it's not blasted publicly. I get so many women who inbox me privately. They don't put it on Facebook. They don't shout it out to... And they inbox me privately and just say, I've been following your journey for the past 2 years. Amazing. Oh my God, you have inspired me. You've touched me. I mean, everything from me leaving my corporate job to the speaking business to this whole weight release journey I'm on. Like, I get so many inbox messages that are never publicized, and I don't have to publicize them. Right. Because I know why I do it. And I understand that my service is so much bigger than anybody publicizing what I do. But like you said, that speaks to the character of who you really are. Absolutely. So what's the vision now, the mission and the vision of the ministry piece of it? Yes. Still to
my show on the Impact and Onward is called Reviving the Nations Through Prayer. And it's to revive the nations. Revive the church, revive through prayer. To get them to understand the importance of it, to get them to understand. I know ministers that don't pray. Lord help. I'm like, who you working for? Who you working for? So because everything centers around you getting that instruction and that strategic understanding from the God you say you working for, you doing this ministry for. So I know that eventually God's going to take me to the nations. And he already has by way of television, but I mean physically. He showed me, the people who will come for me to pray for them. I have a mantle, if you will, of prayer that my mother, who was the forebearer of, she's deceased now, but it's just a thing where God shows me things in prayer and move. It's phenomenal. And so I know that that's not just for me. It's also for the body of Christ. It's for the believer as well as the unbeliever who needs prayer. Because God said in all your ways you ought to pray. Absolutely. In all your ways. Absolutely. So the vision is to keep on. I'm a communicator, as you probably can tell by now. So and all the mediums in which I flow is opportunity to communicate. Whether it's by writing or in my hair salon when I'm talking to someone who don't know I'm sneaking up on them with Jesus. Do you know Nicole? Do you know Elder Nicole? Oh my gosh, you remind me so. You all just remind me so much of each other. Is she online? She's probably out there listening. Probably, or she'll see that somebody tags Sister Elder Nicole. Yes, ma'am. Of course. I was just on her show. She had me on, and we go way back. Wow. Are you in her book? Or the new book? No, I'm not in the book. All right. But we go back to, we used to go to church together, and her and I, and we, that's why we, she's going to be at Women of the Word, as a matter of fact, on June the 23rd. Well, shameless plug. Of course she is. On June the 23rd in Landover, Maryland. She's one of the speakers in Landover. And so me and her, and see, I didn't even see that. God put us together a long time ago, and we used to pray for the church. So we took the calls. That's what I'm talking about. God trusting you in a dark place, in a place of seclusion. Nobody know your name. Can He trust you? Right. And her and I would take the calls that would come in for people who needed prayer. And look at what God has done with us both. And we talk about that. And I think, He could trust us every Sunday to be there catching them calls, praying for people. Nobody know our name. No lights, no mics, no, accolades, but God. We were there because we knew that's what we were supposed to be doing, the work.
I definitely feel a very, and I didn't see the flyer. I didn't know the flyer, but I feel a very similar energy between the two of you. And, she's one of my prayer warriors. I love her dearly. We've done some collaborative things together. She's been on the show. But you definitely have that similar energy, just a genuine wanting to help other people, serve other people. And I know that you mentioned here as well in your bio that you mentor and empower youth and their families.
Right.
So talk a little bit about that work. And let's just say that we have someone who is in a dark place right now. Like, what is it? Can you give them some words of encouragement or some steps that they could take just to get started on the path of healing and recovery and re-energizing themselves to move forward?
Absolutely. I think for me, I had fallen away from the church. I went to Catholic school, so I knew God. I had a reverence for him and everything. And he was so gracious because he gave me my son, who's now 26, who was instrumental in getting me back into the house of God.
Wow.
Because children, and the Lord says you must come like a child. Well, I was partying, y'all. I was at the club. I dropped him off on Fridays. And my sister would take him to church. And so the church would ask him, do you have a home church? And so my son said, well, let me go home check. and of course, he asked me one day, he was like, Mommy, do we have a home church? And I began to say, well, Easter, Mother's Day, we go.
What had happened was, that was one of the what had happened was conversations.
It was like, well, wait a minute. So anyway, he was about 6. So anyway, we would end up going back to church. He wanted to get in the choir. Long story short, we would end up having to be members. But God knew I was going to need him. He knew I was going to need him. He said, there's something coming up the road that you ain't going to make through without you. Just, on your own. You're going to need me for this one here.
Absolutely.
And so I thank God I was in the house of God when I lost my best friend. I talk about, and that whole process, over 2 years, she died. And so I would say, definitely, if you don't have a relationship with God, with your Creator, with your Savior, you need that. And again, he called me out of a place where I was doing my thing. He was like, no, I need you to do my thing. And I need you to, come and do this. And so you got to start with your Creator, the one who created you, God. You have to start there because we weren't meant to exist without him.
Right.
It's like the iron without the cord. Right. Just not going to work.
Right.
At some point, in some place in this life, you're going to need him. I think about those who committed suicide and, because people seem to think all I need is more money. If God just give me all the money I need, I'd be fine. Everything be fine. Everything be wonderful. But you look at people who had it all. You look at people who had, the Michael Jackson, the Whitney Houston. You look at people who had it all and yet had no peace.
Yes.
Had no peace and no control. And so we must make God first, and then you must talk about it, because I always say the enemy isolates you before he kills you.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Isn't that, that's something, it's so ironic that you use that word, isolation, because that's one of the things, so I do a lot of coaching with women in business, and the first thing that most of them do when they're in a space of discouragement or disappointment is isolate themselves. Like, you can't find them.
Right.
I'm called, hey, you wasn't on the call tonight, hey, you what? It's the isolation. That's so powerful that you said that.
And then he begins to work on your mind.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't going to work. You might as well end it. Be better. And so you must break that up. I tell people always, open the blinds. Bring the light in. Because, you tend to go in the darkness and, I'm not going to mess with nobody. He wants you to get by yourself.
Absolutely.
He can do a better job. And what he's trying to do. So definitely get always the right circle. I think I've heard you say about your environment.
Yes.
That's so very important.
Oh my gosh.
That you have people around you that can keep you balanced, keep you focused, check on you, how you doing. Nicole's one of those people. Yes. That God has given me. be, how you doing? Because I see you doing all these things.
Yes.
But how you doing?
How you doing?
You know
That's
what I mean?
a whole different question.
I see you being successful, but how you doing?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we can, be successful in the public eye and have these wonderful profiles and things, and life falling apart in the background. Kids, husband, different scenarios, health crises. So we prayer for me. If you're in a dark place, you must connect with somebody who can, I was just saying how I was in counseling like to 11:45 last night with somebody that started at 6 o'clock. So, and it was a member of Long Past who reached out on Facebook and said, my mother said, I got to find you because you touch God. And that just, to know that somebody thinks that I got, that I can get to a place for them, know. And so I couldn't put her out. I probably should do the thing too. We're gonna limit this down to a certain amount. Because you
need my husband over there talking about, look here.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna do no more.
Right, exactly.
But I love that. Everything that you said just resonates so deeply in my spirit, and I know it's serving the people who are watching us through voxwave.com as well as on Facebook. Guys, I see you. Karen Cherry says, preach it. Too many people with money still aren't happy because they don't put their trust in God first. Hello, Ann Sewell. Thanks for being here. Margaret Standback, thanks for being here. Very, very true, Kana Johnson says. Tawanda, hi. Thank you for being here. Tanisha says, Nicole Mason, greatness personified.
Yes.
Prayer warrior indeed. Yes, she is one of my prayer warriors. I'm claiming her. Yes. She has spoken into my life and poured into my life. And she will come to my conference every year, and she will pray over the space before a soul walk up in there. She pray over that space.
And it's important.
It is so important. And it's important that you know yourself.
Yes.
Because I know that I can get very much I'm a producer.
Yes.
So I will grind, and my head is down, and I'm working, and I'm doing this, and I got it done. And there's a pride about getting 1,000 things done.
Right.
But I have to remember that I need to be poured into equally. Yes. So some people will say, things like, well, why you sign up for that program? And you already know this stuff. And it's not about that. It's about the energy I get in the space that refuels me so I can do the work that God has.
In the space. That's right.
Yes. So sometimes it's not about the content. It's not about I need that. It's not that. Sometimes it's just the energy. When I was in that energy, in the space with that energy with Gloria Mayfield Banks last night, it did everything for me.
Yeah.
Everything. So you got to know yourself and acknowledge what you need and what you need on a consistent basis. And then when I got the message this morning from Riri, the caterer, and she was all pumped. She was like, Cheryl Wood, I'm so honored that I get to serve you. I'm just like, okay, I got to get my oomph back, right? It re-energizes you for the work that you have to do. That's it.
Iron sharpens iron. And so when you come alongside, and that's why we as women, we can't be haters and competing and things of like that nature. Because when you see a sister doing it on another level, she just, especially Nicole, maybe we can throw her back out there, doing it in such an excellent way.
Yes.
That's either going to ignite you to grind a little harder, to get a little better, or if you somebody who don't want nothing, then it's going to make you jealous.
Yes.
But if you find you're jealous, it's because you got some more in you need to be doing. And so you don't have to be. It's enough out here for all of us to do.
It really is.
And I say the same thing. I go to mentoring with Bishop Jakes every year and sit there and just be, oh my goodness, what else you got? I'm playing. I'm going to try to get to the master's class in October. But you have to, when you pour out so much, you got to get poured back into. You got to get a refilling.
You have to get a refilling.
And of course we know the Word of God and the Holy Spirit and all that. But it's good to sit under people who they are doing something, who can say, this is what's going on this level.
Absolutely.
And if you coming up here, you gonna need this, and that. And I thank God for all the many times I've been to mentoring with him, who has prepared me for the next and the next and the next. Absolutely. And he be like, them devils you fighting right there, there's nothing.
Ain't nothing,
God just getting you ready.
What do they say? Another level, another devil.
Absolutely.
Whole different level.
Absolutely.
So talk to us as we start to wrap up about your book. I see your book here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I have a prayer journal.
Yes.
Yeah. Prayer journal I wrote about a year ago. My mother always said she was going to write a book. She did, and I wrote one and dedicated to her.
Beautiful.
And so that's the book, Reviving the Nations Through Prayers. this on Amazon, or you can get it from me.
I'll show this to the folks
me.
on Facebook. You guys need to get your copy. There you go. You see it. You want to make sure you connect. Dr. Tracy Blanchard, Reviving the Nations Through Prayer. All right? So get your copy. Get on Amazon. Get your copy.
Thank you so much. And
as well as those of you guys on Fox Wave.
Yes. And then my prayer line, I'm not saying it because it's me. I'm saying it because God show up. Mm-hmm. You want to get on this prayer line.
Look at that.
Saturday morning. Because it's not just a prayer line, but it's a prophetic prayer line. And you want to hear what God may be saying on that day. And I know it's a little early in the morning, but the Lord said he loves an early riser, one who will seek his face early in the morning. And I tell you, he just does amazing things on that prayer line. Yeah. I normally give a small word, and then we go into prayer. And so so that's the prayer line number. And then you mentioned the salon and boutique, and I just...
Oh, yeah, let's get that. Come on now. She just multi-talented. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well,
ain't nothing like that.
What she called me? An arsonist, entrepreneur, arsonist or something. I'm like, oh, okay. So, yes. And I also am a security consultant. So
now, wait, are you here local?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, you're in Pennsylvania.
But you can find me online. The clothes are online, tracybb.com.
Okay.
But, yeah, the salon is in Pennsylvania.
So it's a beauty salon and boutique.
Yes.
That's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to be multi-talented. You got to do more than one thing. I love it.
And shift and be ready to shift.
Yes.
You know, because some seasons call for different things.
Absolutely.
And be flexible.
Isn't it true?
And agile. Because you know, some people, I only do one thing.
Right.
That's all I do.
Right.
And that might not be the thing that's flowing right now.
Yeah. You look, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm in the season where I am so open to the next and the new and what I never, I'm just, my husband probably thinks I'm crazy because I'm like, babe, I want to try this, and I want to try this, and I want to do. He's like, what?
Right,
I'm like, look, I want to try it all and just figure out what I like and what I don't like. Yeah. And sometimes you got to do it so you can figure it out.
Well, you only live once.
Why not?
You're not going to get a do-over.
You're not going to do-over. No, absolutely.
So you got to, whatever the Lord has created in you and said, go try, do it.
Yes.
Do it.
Yes.
I'm getting ready. I've already got the logo, as you can see, but also 32 years security experience, so I'm looking forward to launching out on my own with that.
Awesome.
Doing some security consulting. And,
awesome.
Helping people build infrastructures for security.
Well, I just love your spirit. I love your energy. I love everything. There's, some people sit in the seat and it's just like, it's something.
Okay.
Like it's a synergy. You know what that is.
Yes,
and that's what I feel.
I feel that on you too, though.
So honored to have you here, have you with us. Much. Please keep using your gift to touch so many lives. Maybe not for 6 hours, but I'm just saying.
Right. We're gonna somehow
slim that down. But I love that you are using everything that God has given you and that you're listening.
Yes.
Because some of us, we trying to run in the opposite direction. Like, no, God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. We running. Yeah, stop running.
Because when you flow, when you follow and flow,
yes.
I don't know where I'm going with that one, but when you follow and flow with God,
yes.
He gonna take you places.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
You could never.
I would have never thought when I became a minister I would be on TV.
He would take you places that will never be on a vision board.
Yes.
Because you can't even envision it. You can't visualize that thing.
Get a T-shirt and say I am my vision board.
Yes. Yes, and he will work through you.
Live it out.
And he will manifest some amazing things through you that you never could conceive of in your mind. And you thought on your vision board, you thought you had greatness. And he's like, okay, wait a minute, let me show you this. Let me show you something real.
Let me show you something
the next level. Yes.
Yeah, right.
So closing words and how people can get in touch with you.
Well, closing words. Thank you again for having me on your show. Please stay connected with me, Tracy Blanchard Ministries. I'm on Facebook. Also, you can connect with me on Twitter. I am Dr. Tracy. Instagram, I am Dr. Tracy. And just grateful for the opportunity. I hope everyone will be out to Women of the Word. I just feel like there's going to be a mighty move of God on that day. We're calling for the Welling Women. And, of course, Nicole Mason's going to be in the house.
Of course. She's going to tear it up.
Yeah, right. And then I'm coming at the end, and we just going to have a good time in the Lord. But more than that, we hope to birth some women out of being stagnant and complacent, and understand, what the Lord has given me. We in halftime.
I love it.
Because, when you come into 2018, people have made all these resolutions. What they going to do? What they going to get? What I'm going to go for? God says halftime now. And some of them been asleep.
Yeah.
And you know, you can come back from a halftime and win this.
Yes, you can.
Don't get me started. You can come back.
You can.
Many folks have made a comeback in halftime.
I love it.
I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in the house, and I hope they come out and stay connected with me. And again, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's an honor to sit next to you with all your great accomplishments.
Likewise.
And thank you for
thank you for my beautiful gift. Yes. Come on now, y'all.
And those are for sale, people, if you'd like to have one.
Yes, beautiful. So make sure you connect with Dr. Tracy Blanchard, all the amazing, dynamic things she's doing and allowing God to use her as a vessel. And I mean, what else can you do but applaud someone who says, God, use me?
Yes.
And that's exactly what you're doing. So we're going to take a brief break, and we're going to be right back with our next guest, Amanda Edie Oliver. So stay tuned.
We have powerful words. We have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work. We're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see, I will reach my destiny, I don't need your permission, yes, I'm on a mission, I'll win. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh, say I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, we are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Hey, yeah.
All right, and we are back. So look, before I introduce my next guest, I do want to thank our platinum partners and our gold partners who without them we could not host this show. Cherie M. Good, who is the Recharge Strategist. You can connect with her at TotalHarmonyEnterprises.com. Every year she hosts their annual Recharge Health, Wellness, and Fitness Expo up in the Baltimore area, and it is phenomenal. You get everything from, workouts to healthy food samples to workout gear and clothes. I mean, they had some people up there who were selling it was a coffee that was made with broccoli. And it was tasty. Yeah, she has some of the most amazing vendors who come out and share their healthy take on foods and how to just live a healthier lifestyle. So connect with her at TotalHarmonyEnterprises.com. Also, we want to thank our platinum partner, Miss Ladrine Peterson. And she actually has a nonprofit component to her company called Do It, which she recently launched the I Am the Legacy campaign, which started on June 4th. So she's partnered with the Muse Paint Bar at the Harbor, National Harbor, and other businesses. And she's having these things called painting parties, painting for a cause. And the next one is scheduled actually for June 30th at noon. The campaign is all about people saying they want to leave a legacy for their children. So she thought to herself, well, what if we as a community invest in our children now and put them on a track to start building legacies now instead of waiting? So her campaign actually consists of 3 components. There's a youth business pitch contest, there's a youth anthology book, and then there's a youth conference. So you want to make sure that you follow the hashtag I am a legacy. If somebody could type that in the feed, that would be fantastic. Hey, Ladrine. Ladrine is actually here with us on Facebook. Hashtag I am a legacy on social media so that you can support this amazing campaign. And then you also want to follow Ladrine Howard Peterson on Facebook. And if you're on Instagram, connect with her at Do It Delivers. So thank you so much for being one of our amazing partners of the show. And then we also have 2 gold partners, Ameena Mcwhirter, who you guys hear me rave about all the time for the work that she does with women specifically who are in transition. Her organization is a 501c3 nonprofit called Love by the Handles. You can check her out at lovebythehandles.org and all the great community work that she's doing. And then last but not least, Robin Rodgers at robinrodgersempowers.com. She's a lifestyle and image expert helping women to develop greater self-confidence and reflect that confidence through inner and outer image. Like, both matter. You know, yes, it's not just, I feel good on the inside, but I don't reflect it on the outside. And it's not, I look great, but I feel horrible on the inside. It has to be, they have to complement each other. And that's exactly what she specializes in. She's actually preparing for her Whole Woman Symposium on September 8th from 10 to 5 right here in the local DMV. If you want to get tickets for that, you're going to go to the wwb2018.eventbrite.com. The www2018.eventbrite.com. So again, thank you to our platinum partners and our gold partners. All right, moving on. I have another phenomenal guest in the building, y'all. You want to share this out? Her name is Amanda Edie Oliver. And ironically, someone reached out to me on LinkedIn and was like, I'm so happy to see that you're having Amanda on your show. She's so phenomenal. I don't even know who it was, but someone randomly inboxed me and must have seen the flyer and was excited that you were on the show.
Wow.
Just so you know the impact that you're making. So who is she? Well, Amanda Edie Oliver's life work involves teaching females how to creatively change the world. She's a storyteller, she's a teen girl advocate, and a creative writing consultant. She is the founder of Hashtag Brand New, which is a nonprofit organization for tween and teen girls. She educates, empowers, and equips girls, teaching them how to positively use their voices, their gifts, and female partnerships to evoke change for the next generation. She's also the creator of The Books Before Boys, FAB, which stands for Females Against Bullying, and Dear Queen Movements. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I'm like, all these multi-talented women who are coming into the space. I'm inspired.
Well, you inspire me.
Well, thank you. You know, iron sharpens iron, as Dr. Tracy said
most
so eloquently.
Definitely.
So tell me about this work that you do with girls and this whole idea of Hashtag Brand New. What does that represent? Why did you start that? Like, did it call you? Did it find you? Did you find it?
If I be very honest, I will never forget when God told me that I had to start Brand New. It was July of 2015. I was sitting in my apartment and God was like, you're going to do this. You're going to work with tween and teen girls. I was in a very dark place, very honest, very dark place, had separated from my husband, had started over, trying to get my life together. And he told me that I was going to start it, and I told him no. And I told him no because it would mean that I would have to share my mess.
Yes.
And everything that I went through as a teen girl, I was 19 years old when I had my son. I had low self-esteem. I was very promiscuous. I mean, in and out of stuff.
Right.
You know, just very rebellious. Yes. And I would have to be honest about it. And honestly, Cheryl, I wasn't ready to do that. But he kept pulling on me, you know. And I shared it. One of the girls that I mentored at the time, I told her about it. I was like, God wants me to start this organization. What do you think about it? And she was like, yes, Miss Amanda, you should definitely do it. Yes. But still, I sat on it. I didn't do anything. And then they just kept asking me about it. When you going to start? When you going to start? When you going to start? And then I finally did.
Amen.
Finally did. So it's been 3 years.
Look at you. Let's give it up for her, y'all. Yes.
Thank you.
Clap it up. Look, he's clapping for you too. I love it. The technician like, yeah. And you know, here's the beauty of everything that you said. A couple things that really resonate with me. Number one, is something that I say on this show all the time, which is your story is about you, but it ain't for you.
That's right.
Right? So
that's right.
your story and your mess and everything you went through was really for someone else. Somebody was waiting for that.
Most
right?
definitely.
And so many of us get caught up in our own, if you want to call it ego or not wanting to share or shame or guilt or whatever it is that's going on. And because of that, other people are stuck where they are until we move. That's why it keeps tapping you on the shoulder.
That's right.
Because people waiting. So
That's
I love that you finally allow yourself to have the wake-up call, right? You were open to being open about what you had been through. So that is very, very, very powerful. And then the other thing that you said, outside of basically not wanting to share your mess, but being pulled on to share your mess, I want you to understand how you just sharing that story is inspiring other people. So I recently, guys, I've said this so many times to people in my team. I don't ever want to do a nonprofit organization. That's what I said. I'm for profit. I'm not lying. I'm being real transparent. Like I, for a long time, or the whole time I've been in business, like, I have no desire to be doing, nonprofit. I'm for profit. But recently, I've been called on to do a nonprofit organization.
You should do it.
And I'm just like, I've been scared. Today, I actually put a post on Facebook asking for people who actually specialize in doing the paperwork. So that, because I don't want to sit on it, because I know it's meant to be.
It's meant to be.
It's just the process is scary.
The process is scary, but with anything, when God is in it and when He tells you to do it, He will send people. I tell you, I had no idea about administrative stuff, the papers, or anything like that. All He did was give me the vision, but He sent me people who had the skill set.
There you go.
Right and there. So when He's in it, He'll make sure that everything comes to place.
Well, you just blessed me with that, girl. I'm just saying, you here for me today. If you ain't here for nobody else, you're here for me because I'm going through that process right now, and it is very scary. It's new. It's completely outside of my comfort zone. But hearing your story now is going to move me to actually get into action. Don't procrastinate. So that's what I'm saying. When you tell your story and tell your truth, it always impacts somebody. So I'm just letting you know, face to face, girl, you done made impact today.
Well,
so you have all of these different components. You have Books Before Boys. I love that. I love that. Books Before Boys. FAB, which is Females Against Bullying, and Dear Queen movements. Can you talk about each movement and what each one is designed to do?
So the books, every year, we do a Books Before Boys pajama jam. It's the ultimate girl power. The ultimate girl
power. Where have you been all my life? I not know about this stuff.
So it is, oh my goodness, I love this event. Wow. It's a time where girls from all different communities, they come together, they are mentored. There's women, business owners that are mentored, they're paired. It's like, our very first event, we had 28 girls, and then the last, I want to say, was like 35 girls. And so you have women who have a group of girls for that weekend, and they mentor them and they push them. They learn about the things that they want to do. And we're also, during that weekend, we teach them how to not compete with one another, but complement each other, and how to develop these positive female relationships. Because if we're going to be honest about it, we need each other.
Yes, we do.
And when females can just come together and use their gifts, we can change the world. I never forget, my daddy on Mother's Day said, the world will change when women make the decision to just change it. Us together,
so powerful.
We give birth. There's something in every single one of us that God is going to use to change the world. So these girls need to know that you need her. Even though you come from different backgrounds, different households, whatever, you have the same struggles. We as women deal with the same
and that
issues.
You are more alike than you are different.
Most definitely.
And I share that oftentimes with when I go out and I speak at different events, right? And I talk about the importance of women being vulnerable.
Yes.
Now, no, you can't be vulnerable with everybody.
That's true.
But you also cannot, as Dr. Tracy Blanchard was saying, isolate yourself.
That's right.
So I grew up in this environment where my mother had to be tough because it was a tough environment, and she was a single parent raising 3 kids. So it wasn't no, a whole bunch of being passive and all that.
Right.
My mother was tough. She did what she had to do, and she did what she knew how to do. But what I share in that story is my mother taught me how to be tough and strong. Like, it take a lot to get me down, and I don't stay down long.
That's right.
But she was not able to pass on to me vulnerability.
Yes. And
I didn't learn how to be vulnerable. So I'm always the face of strength. I'm always strong. I got it. I'm good. I'm okay. How you doing? I'm fine. You know you ain't fine.
Yes.
So I never learned that. So I love that you are instilling that into girls at a young age. That it's okay to say, I need somebody else.
You need help.
I need help.
Yes.
I don't want to do this alone. Like, I love that. So how do people get more information about that event?
Well, we're in the process of planning the Books Before Boys Pajama Jam, and I am in the central VA area, so I'm like outside of Richmond, and so we're going to have that event in Chester, Virginia in October of this year.
Oh,
and so
I so want my daughter to participate.
So what we're doing, if you go on Facebook and you follow the brand new page, we're on social media, we're brand new org. And you follow the page, you will find out when the registrations come out, because we're working on, we're going to have it at the Y this time, so that we can have more girls and be able to have enough space.
Y'all see me over here writing? It's not for y'all. It is not for y'all. It is for me. I'm just saying I'm getting blessed all kind of ways with this right here, this interview right here, because my daughter is 14 years old, and we're going to talk about something that you the things that you have coming up with your daughter. So you have a teen, I have a teen, and it can get tricky. And there's no handbook.
There's no handbook. Trial and error.
And thankfully, my daughter is a really good girl.
That's
She's
good.
positive. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little concerned about the high school.
Yes.
Right? Because she's now going to high school. And I'm like, God, please let her stay a good girl. And let's watch over the people that she connect herself to and all that kind of stuff. But you have this show that you're going to be doing with your 13-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Tell us about that, and what's the premise of the show?
I am so excited about the Mommy and Lee show. My daughter and I will be doing this show starting on July the 7th on Legacy Internet Radio, the Mommy and Lee show, where we are real comical and impactful. My daughter is totally different from me. When I say that, when I was in high school, when I was a teenager, I struggled with low self-esteem. I didn't know who I was, and I didn't have like the strongest relationship with my mother, because like your mother, it was totally different. So, and I'm being a creative and all of that, I think differently. Yeah. And so I needed to be able to, process with someone, and it just wasn't available. So I said that with my daughter, when she was born, when I found out I was having a daughter, I was going to make sure that we had that relationship where she could come to me and talk to me regardless of what she did, regardless of choices. I would never make her feel like, she was worthless or anything because of the choices that she made. Because it's an adjustment trying to be an adolescent and figure out, your body's changing.
Figure out who you are, what you like.
All of that. And so my daughter is, oh my goodness, she is who I wanted to be when I was a teenager. Wow. And I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
But we bump heads. We bump heads because I'm the emotional one. She's so strong and she's confident and she knows who she is. And even at 13 years old, she knows what she wants to do with herself. Wow. And, I cultivated these gifts. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come on this show and we're going to talk about our journey, but also talk about the issues that teenage girls face. Yes. Issues that mothers face when trying to rear a teenage girl. Yes. And we're going to have guests. Hopefully, we would love to have you and your daughter.
Yes. We're saying yes. We want to come on. We want to run out miles.
Yes,
we want to talk.
And talk about, because it's not easy. And I have run into, with me having my organization, I run into women who say, well, I just don't know how to talk to my daughter. Right. And we give strategies. Yes. I say, my daughter and I, we don't have the perfect relationship, but we're progressing. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. No one's perfect. We bump heads sometimes. I honestly had to take her phone for 30 days. And so she won't get her phone back until the day before we go on the show.
Now, did it hurt you more to do it than it did, or were you? Cause
you know, it was okay, it hurt me a little bit because I co-parent, and we'll talk about that too. I co-parent with her father, and sometimes I can't always get her when she's over there with him. And her having a cell phone, it was the solution.
Absolutely.
But I had to make a decision. My daughter, she wasn't focused, you know, so I'm going to let go of the fact that I want to talk to her, and she needs to be able to focus. And then social media is an issue.
Amen. That whole social media, the video for my boys is video games. It's like, and I had to do I had to do something similar recently with my baby boy who had lost his mind. I think he lost his mind from the video game. We're going to help you find your mind, boo-boo. We're going to help you find your mind again. So I took everything from him. I was like, we in this space right here. And I ain't going to lie, it hurt because I'm such a wimp. When it comes to my kids, like my husband is hardcore. He like, this what it is. What? Me, I was like, but I knew I had to pull away from the emotion of that and just stick to it. And it's so funny because a lot of times, and maybe you can add this in as your conversation with your daughter, a lot of times parents will say one thing and do something else.
And do something that we got to be consistent.
So my kids know that about me. They know I'll say it, and then the next day I'm like, all right,
you
well,
can
go
have it
ahead.
back.
So he expected that this time, and I fooled him, y'all. I fooled him. Come on, man. He was just like, what? 2 days later, 3 days, he was still like, Mommy, what? I mean, he was shocked, but it's like, you know, you learn what your child needs, what's going to help them to soar and thrive. So I love that you're going to be having that conversation directly with your child, not adults talking about the kids.
Both of she gets to talk about her having me as a mom, and I love the fact that she's going to bring the teen girl perspective. Because sometimes, you know, we know what it's like to be a teen girl, but we don't know what it's like to be a teen girl in 2018.
Exactly. And I love that you acknowledge that.
Yes, we don't.
So yeah, we were teens before, but we weren't in this time.
Not in this time.
When things are different.
Everything is totally different.
Everything is
different. She gets to bring that perspective.
Well, I love that. I love everything that you're doing. And let me tell you what I really like, and then you can tell us a little bit about the Fab and the Dear Queen, but the Books Before Boys, that pajama. What I love about that is it puts girls in an environment with other girls their age, right? But who may have different personalities.
That's right.
So my daughter is she's very responsible. She's a producer like me. This girl, I'm like, sometimes I have to remind her, I got this. I've been doing this way before you got here. I got this, right? But she's that mature and responsible. However, the piece I want her to work on is being more confident in herself.
More confident, yes.
And so I'm listening to you describe your daughter, and I'm like, that's the person I want her to be around, because it's like you learn different things by being in the company of people with different.
Definitely.
And that's what I love
back to iron sharpening iron. We're all we have different personalities. My daughter gets to be around. You know, she'll have the opportunity to be around girls who are more compassionate. Since she's so strong and she knows who she is, she still also needs to be compassionate.
Oh, I love it.
And so she'll get to
life,
be around.
You
give me life.
Because this is a season, like you said, you don't get a handbook on how do I do it. So I love that you are orchestrating the conversations and showing other moms and daughters how to open up.
How to do this thing.
How to do this thing. So talk really quickly about, we talked about Books Before Boys. What about Fab, Females Against Bullying, and Dear Queen?
Okay, so Fab, Females Against Bullying, I actually started Fab at my daughter's middle school. When she transitioned from 5th grade to 6th grade, I actually stopped teaching. I've been an educator for 11 years. And I stopped I wanted to help her transition from 5th grade to middle school, because I knew that it was going to be tough. Mainly, just girls trying to figure out who they are. And so, because I worked in the county, in Prince George County in Virginia, I was able to start Fab, Females Against Bullying, at that school, at Moore Middle School. And it was a club for girls to, they'll come together and they're motivated, and they are helping each other decrease the bullying that's happening inside the school, as well as on social media.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of bullying that's happening on social media. girls not wanting to come to school, girls talking about committing suicide, all of that because someone says something online that we as parents would never even know about.
Absolutely.
They have these things going on online, little groups, all of that.
Yep.
And then they're bringing it into the school.
Right.
And so Fab, with Fab, it's a space for girls to come together, for one, to learn that we all have the same issues. It's just a smaller space for middle school girls, that we all have the same issues, and so they're taught how to really develop positive female relationships.
I love that.
And this past year, I'm working at St. Andrew's School in Richmond. It's a private school. And I was able to, by the grace of God, start Fab at my school with the 5th grade girls, helping them transition to middle school. So I love it. I love everything. God has created me to do this. And when I say I live, breathe, and dream Teen Girl Development, I live, breathe, and dream Teen Girl Development.
We can see it. You know how you said you can tell. Again, I'm going back to Riri Edwards, who was all hyped this morning. It wasn't even 8 o'clock. I'm like, what? Where did that energy come from? I'm still rubbing my eyes, right? And she was pumped, and that's what she said. I was like, after I listened to her message, I typed, I said, I love your energy. And she's like, because I love what I do.
Yes,
and that's, you
everything.
Can feel it. Yes,
I love
so we can feel that this is your divine assignment.
My life's work.
Yes.
I love
and
it.
We want to encourage you to keep up the great work. I'm going to definitely personally stay connected.
Yes,
because
most definitely.
I need to make sure that I have access to this type of community and my daughter has access to this type of community. As you said, I love that you use that female partnerships.
Yes.
And that's what we want our girls to have it. We want to show them the model of it.
Most definitely.
And so I love that you're doing that.
We're the example.
Any closing thoughts on how people can get in touch with you?
Well, you can follow me, Amanda Edie Oliver, on Facebook or Instagram at AEO Motivates. My organization, brand new org, on Instagram and Facebook as well. I am rebranding my website. The Amanda Edie Oliver website and brand new org is being worked on right now. So you can also follow us once that's up and running. But my closing remarks, if I had to say anything to encourage you guys, I would remind you that there is something in you that God has given you to change the world. And you can't sit on it. You can't sit on it. When you sit on it, you prevent someone else from moving forward. What happens when you don't show up? And so I want to encourage you to walk your work and live your best life, because younger people are watching you.
Yes.
They're watching everything, and you're inspiring people when you don't even know it. You're inspiring people by your life. So just do what God has called you to do, and do it well.
Amen. Come on now. All right, y'all. She took us out strong. We're going to take just a brief moment, and we're going to move into our second segment. We have 2 more phenomenal guests. Anita Gibson is going to be here with us, and Cynthia Green. And we just want to thank you so
much. It's been a pleasure.
Being with us. Love your energy. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep impacting the world, right, y'all? We will be right back in just a moment.
Yeah, I will reach my destiny. Yeah, I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh, say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, we are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Hey. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see, yeah. I will reach my destiny, yeah. I don't need your permission, yes, I'm on a mission, I'll win. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh.
Yes, you can't help but rock like that. Little 1 step, 2 steps. That's what you do when you're over 40. You're like 1 step, 2 step. That's it. You don't do a whole lot. Again, we're thanking Tammy Turner for writing and producing that and performing that song for us. Playtime is over. You guys know that I do the annual Playtime is Over Women's Business Conference, and we have absolutely adopted that song here as our anthem for impacting the world because playtime is over. You don't have time to just sit and think about it and wish for it and hope for it, and you watching everybody else, so you're literally a spectator on the sidelines. So when we say playtime is over, it's about making sure that you are pressing forward into the thing that you know you are destined to do. Without apologies, without regrets. None of us want to get to the end of our lives and it's like woulda, shoulda, coulda. Wow. Right? So we want to make sure that we are, every day that you wake up, every day that you open your eyes, you really owe it to yourself to make sure that you're pouring out all of you into the world. Yes. And that's why I believe that community is so important and the circle that you're around is so important, because sometimes you can lose that oomph because life gut punches you. Yes. Like life, like what? Let me get this one, bam, bam. Let me get this 2-punch right here, this 2-piece, right? And sometimes you can get down, and you can feel down in your luck, and you can feel discouraged and disappointed, and it's like, what's going on? Challenges, you meet face to face with challenges and obstacles, and that can get the best of you if you allow it. And if you're not aware of who's in your inner circle to help lift you up when you're in those moments. Right. So none of us can hide from the moments because that's just a part of life. But you can control who's in your inner circle to help lift you up out of those moments. Yes. And it should be people who don't give you permission to stay in those moments and in those dark spaces. Wow. Right? Like I make sure people who are in my inner circle, no, you gotta have energy, you gotta be pumped up and fired up so that when I'm not, right, if I need it from you, I can come and get it from you. Right? So very, very important. So we're going to move on for our next guest. The dynamic Anita Gibson is here with us. She is the CEO of Creative Strategy Consulting. Her company creates and develops unique academic programs. She's the president of Project Excel Academy, which is a homeschool learning center for students in Bowie, Maryland. These students experience major improvements in their academics as the program partners with a private school to provide an amazing individualized learning experience. I have got to connect with you. Seriously. This is going to go, I have so many relationships that are going to go beyond today. Okay. She's also the author of the book Star Finder, and she's married. She's been married for 35 years. That's a whole nother topic. How do you like somebody for 35 years?
You might not like them for 35
You might not like them. That's good. We need to have you back for a topic on that, right? And they're blessed with 3 adult children. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be
35 years. Oh, Lord. Yeah. That's a long time.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good now.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you say that. It's good now. Because sometimes you go through something, you figure it out, though.
Exactly.
A lot of prayer.
Yes.
So talk about this whole idea of being in education and academics. Like, where did that come from? Is it something that you have always been pursuing? Is it something you knew you wanted to do, for a long time, and then you finally branched into it? Or did it find you?
I love to develop people. I love to see people kind of
grow.
Yes.
And I have the ability to be able to kind of see what they could be.
And that's so beautiful.
Yeah, and then to help take the journey with them.
That is so beautiful. Yeah. Now here's my thing with homeschool learning. First of all, I thought homeschool meant you had to be at home. So clearly I'm wrong.
Okay.
So tell us what homeschool learning really means.
Okay.
And you talk about this individualized learning experience. Talk about that whole dynamic so I can learn some things today too.
So, homeschooling is about a parent taking more responsibility for their students' learning. If I'm not good at math, I wouldn't be the right person.
That's so true.
To teach my child at math at home.
Yes.
So my job is to then find a tutor who loves math, who has a passion for it, and let them be the one that teaches. So it's really about becoming a resource. You're kind of the center of it, and then finding the pieces that work for your child. So if your child is excited about aviation or music, then you're finding opportunities for them to do that. Where maybe in the school system they would not be able to do that.
Wow.
Focus in as deeply as they could, because at home you can really get right to it.
That is so good to know, and that's so profound, because that is always the thing that I like. Again, my sons pray for me. They are not huge fans of school. My daughter loves school. Okay. She don't want to miss a day of school. That's my daughter. But my boys are a little different. I'm working with them. But they always like, Mommy, can you just homeschool us? No, that'll not mean we're going to be sitting around sipping on tea, looking out the window. They are asking for homeschool. 10 and 11.
So a lot of times, especially with African-American males, the school system some of the schools, and I'm not a school basher because everybody can't homeschool.
Absolutely.
But sometimes for some students, the regimen of the day, it actually stunts who that child is.
Wow.
And so sometimes with a parent, they'll pull them out to give them a chance to kind of discover the things that they really like to do.
Yes.
When you hear your child saying, I don't like school, or I hate reading, or those are warning signs.
Wow.
Because learning is the foundation to life.
Absolutely. Right. And that can scare you when you hear your child say, like, wait a minute, hold up. No, what I said is you're going to read this book because I said so. Exactly. But that's really not a good enough answer.
But what they might be telling you is, Mom, the environment we're in is not conducive to who we are.
Yes.
And so we think they're saying, I don't like learning, but they're just saying, no, I need another environment.
That's so powerful.
I need somebody that's going to, after we read the book, take me on a field trip about it. I need somebody who's going to learn how I learn and then begin to present the things to me in that way.
Right.
They should be excited about learning.
That is so good. I'm so glad you're here today. We are definitely going to continue this conversation after because it is, and it is our responsibility as parents to recognize when perhaps there's some type of disconnect.
Yes.
But a lot of us don't know that there are options such as the center that you create. Exactly. So if someone is going through that, like where would they start? Not me. Where would they? My girlfriend, my friend. Where would they start?
So homeschooling is as individual as a person. There's so many different ways you can do it. Some people, so one of the schools that we actually connect with is at First Baptist of Glen Arden. They have a Christian academy there, but they also have a homeschool program, and I happen to be the director of that program.
Okay.
And so we actually offer classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 until 3. And core subjects, photography, home economics, different subjects. And students, so these are tutors, they come in, they share the content with the students, they give homework, then the student goes home and they work on that work and they bring it back, and then that tutor corrects it, they check it, they stay connected with the parent because we're all in this process together. And then my learning center helps out with parents who are either working or they're like, I don't understand quite, at the level that I need to really do a good job with my child. So I'm going to send them to the tutors that are over at that center on the other days.
Right.
And then those tutors happen to actually be in both places.
Got it.
So there's this continuity that is created. There's a 5-day solution. They're still being homeschooled because the parent is still involved. They're doing report cards. They still have to help with homework. They're also going on field trips. They have to volunteer. But it's another way of getting it done. We've seen students who have failed 9th grade twice. come into our program and be able to actually graduate and move on to college.
Wow.
Because what people don't understand is it doesn't take a whole year to make up. A lot of times there's just gaps in the learning.
Yes.
And when you start filling in the gaps, they might be at a 9th grade level here, but once you fill the gaps in, they may get right to that 11th grade level. And sometimes they're able to even catch up. We had a young man who is in our program, both programs, who came in as a total E student. His mother thought he just hates school.
Right.
He is now an A and B student. Wow. It happened in 1 year. And he said to one of our tutors, he said, I didn't know learning could be fun.
Wow. I love you. Because it really does give parents an alternative, and it gives us hope for those of us who may have kids who are struggling with the traditional setting of learning. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with them. Exactly. It might mean that type of learning or that environment isn't best or most conducive for that child. I just love you. You're going to be my best friend. I'm telling you. So talk about the Star Finder. I know that you have that book here.
Yes.
Tell us about that and what people would get from that and what made you write the book.
So my husband and I homeschooled all of our children.
Wow.
For 25 years. That's how long it took me to do it.
Wow.
And the first one was like everything she did turned to gold. I don't even remember teaching her how to read. And
that's my daughter.
Okay. But then her sister came behind, totally different.
Yes.
And she was in the shadow of that star. And so she thought, oh, I'm not good. Her esteem was low.
Yes.
Because I'm not like Lauren.
Yes.
And so she didn't struggle with reading. She didn't learn how to read well until 6th or 7th grade.
Wow.
And so we had to find some things for her to help her to know that she's a star too, but in a different way. Lauren's strengths were in academics. Danielle, what are her strengths? I had to start searching for them. She loved animals. She became the animal doctor in the neighborhood.
Wow.
And the kids would bring the bird and the turtle that they found, knocking on the door, knock, knock, knock. Danielle, look what we found. What do we do? Yeah. Well, guess what helped her reading? Let me go. Mommy, can I go to the library and get a book on how to take care of turtles? What do I do about? And so I allowed her to bring into my house, and I hate animals. She got to bring hamsters in. And she started raising hamsters. And then not hamsters. Are they hamsters? I don't know, whatever they were, they look like rats to me. And I didn't want them in my house.
Gerbils?
Yeah.
Something like that. They're all in the same family.
And then she did rabbits. And she did so well with them. Her dad and her would take them to the pet store, and they would sell them to the pet store, and she would get food in return for them. So her esteem started getting higher and higher. Wow. She was the only one in the house that could have animals. And so we began to help her we became star finders. And she taught me how prejudiced I was.
Wow. You're giving me goosebumps. I just can't. I hope I don't cry. That is just so powerful.
Because, when the first child is smart and you just think everybody else is supposed to be like that. And I did not honor who she was. Yes. And I did not appreciate the beauty of slow.
I'm just saying. You better preach it up in here.
Because in our world, slow is not good. Right. It doesn't have value. And so because she did things at a slower pace, everything, in her mind, I'm not good at it. Right. But one day God gave me an idea, an analogy for her. He said, if you had cancer and you had 2 doctors that you had to choose from, and they needed to look at your x-rays, you had one who was quick could get through it real quick, or you had one that it might have took them a month to get back to you. But they looked at every quadrant of that x-ray, and they were able to come back and say, yes, I see it, and it's right over there. Yes. Which doctor would you want to have? Well, I would want the one that went slower.
Yes.
And I said, and that's why God made you that way.
Right.
Because he has a purpose for you that you need to have the ability to see detail. And you can't see detail if you're going fast.
Yes.
And so as I began to appreciate slow, I could then translate it to her so she could begin to see the beauty of Danielle.
That is so beautiful.
And that's what this book is about. It's about how as parents, we all need to become star finders.
Oh, hopefully I can buy the book, get the book today, because I want to start reading it. Because my children all three of them are very different.
Absolutely.
And like you said, and my daughter being the oldest, being the first, she kind of set the precedent. She's speaking French, she's doing all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to compare my other children to her performance because they're not the same. They don't learn the same.
That's right.
And one of my children is very, very methodical and slow, as you will. In fact, we kind of call him the old man in the house, right?
Okay.
But I don't want to deflate him and suck his confidence dry because he's not moving at the pace that everybody else is. Exactly. And I don't want him to feel like anything's wrong with him because he's moving at it. So do you do workshops, classes, courses, sessions? How do people connect with all of this goodness? Because I believe that I'm a firm believer that everybody has a unique gift.
Yes.
This is a gift. You have a gift. Just the way that you articulated everything that you just said and being able to see beyond the immediate and see the greatness and find a star in each, that is so necessary today in with these kids, it's what they have access to. And it's like, and for them to know, no, I'm fine just as I am. Exactly. So do you do workshops?
I do. I do, workshops, training. So the other thing I have is this learning center. It's a nonprofit. I heard you talking about that earlier.
Yes, pray for us, sister.
I have some resources for you. I'll tell you about that later. And so I'm working on making sure that's solid and good. Yes. And so the speaking, the workshops, those things are coming. But I want to make sure that my nonprofit is solid, that I have all the things in place that
absolutely. Well, I'm going to stay closely connected because I know that there are, even with the young lady who was just here, Amanda, and she does work with young girls.
I want to talk to her.
Like the two of you, your greatness and her greatness and combine. Oh, come on now. This is fantastic. So if you were to, let's say that there is a child who is having challenges, learning in the traditional setting. But let's say that the parent, a couple things. Let's say that the parent can't afford to do the homeschooling option. Okay. Or a parent doesn't feel that they are qualified to do any part of it, right? Everybody's different. Okay. So maybe they're not good at math, or maybe they're not good in reading either, or something else, right? Okay. What are your recommendations for how to best help that child?
So we have to begin to see the beauty in our child. So if you have a child who is struggling, some of us have children that are very talkative.
Yes.
And sometimes in our brain we're going, would you please shut up? Sometimes we say it out loud.
Right. Sometimes we think it, and sometimes we say it.
But when we begin to see the beauty of that child, we understand that, thank God the child is talking to us. And then we get, this must be a gift. And so instead of being irritated about it, as we begin to reframe our own mind about that child, we can then begin to say, okay, now what are some of the things that we can do to create space for that child to be able to talk? Right. What are the things in the family that we can do to set up? So maybe on Sundays that they get to share speeches with the family. Wow. Or we can send them to, maybe there's a junior, what is that program called for speakers?
Like a Toastmaster.
A junior Toastmaster. So how do we create space for this gift that irritates me to make room for that child? Right. And as you focus on their strengths, the struggle becomes easier because then they have something positive to focus on. In my book, there's a quote that talks about that God looks at a child in their potential. Many times we look at them through their weakness. And we focus so much attention on trying to fix their weakness that we don't spend any energy on what are you good at? Yes. What is your gift? And when you balance that thing, the struggle begins to come up naturally.
So how did you, I'm still trying, let's go back to the beginning, right? So, now 2 questions. So one question is, so do you do any pieces of the education in the Learning Center or even at First Baptist of Glenarden?
I used to.
Okay, I can tell. And then my other question is, where did the love come from? Were your parents educators? Were you misunderstood as a kid? I believe everybody has a story. What's the connecting story that makes you so passionate about this? Because I was using this example on a call I did the other night, and I'm like, for instance, there are all kind of charities that a person could donate to. Somebody might decide, I'm going to help kids in third world countries who don't have access to drinking water, clean drinking water. Somebody else would say, I want to help save the dolphins. Somebody else would say, I want to help kids in Africa, or I want to help people who are suffering from cancer. So in that same vein, like why did this become your passion?
When I was 8 years old, my mother had a baby. And my sister thought I was her mother. And I took on that role. I accepted it.
Wow.
And when I got married, my sister was 13 years old, and she was my maid of honor.
Wow.
And she was we were standing, and the preacher's doing the thing, and she's weeping like it's a funeral.
Wow.
And I did not get it. And so when it was over, a few weeks later, I was like, why were you so upset? She was like, because it felt like my mother was leaving me.
Wow.
And my mother is a wonderful woman.
Yeah.
But my sister had just connected with me in such a way. And I think from that having to be the one responsible to nurture her in those younger years, I just grew up like, if you're an underdog, I'm going to help you.
Oh, I'm the same way. I root big time for the underdog.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just who I am. And so I finished homeschooling my children in 2008.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, God, what's next? Because I'm done with homeschooling.
Right, exactly. What's next?
I've done this for 25 years.
Right.
And he said, well, why would I have invested that level of experience, knowledge in you for you just to walk off and do something else? I have some more children for you to take care of.
Wow.
And you don't get a pass. So this nonprofit that I'm working on, the Learning Center, probably 10 years God told me to do it. But I didn't want to.
Y'all hear the common thread with all the women that we've been talking to is that thing that's tapping you on the shoulder, nudging you, reminding you, and you like, okay, well, not yet. Like, have you ever had a debate with God? Like, look, God, I know you telling me to do this, but I ain't ready. Not yet. Hold on. Just a little bit longer. And he just keeps coming back. And that's what Amanda and I were talking about. It's like she was sitting on her gift for such a long time. And she finally made the decision to move on. And I'm like, because there are people who will stay stuck for as long as you stay stuck.
That's right.
Stuck is not just you.
That's
is also, okay, let's see. Somebody's not watching the show because they calling us. But it's also the people. It's you that's stuck and the people who are waiting for your gift that are stuck.
That's right.
And so it's so important that all of us, and for those of you guys who are watching and listening, shout out to Ladrine. Thanks for being here. And those who are watching through voxwave.com, the question is, why are you holding off on your gift? And how much longer is it going to take you? I always like to ask the question, why not now? Exactly. Why not me? Why not? And that's what you need to ask yourself so that you can move forward with whatever that thing is. Because look at the gift that the sister has. So you see her gift and you're like, oh my God, you're in awe of it. And then you see somebody else and they have a different gift and you're in awe of it. And then somebody else, they can sing their butt off. Like you're like, oh my God, you're in awe. Everybody has their in awe of gift. The question is, are you leveraging it? Are you using it, or are you sitting on it? And like my coach Lisa Nichols always says, look, I'm not trying to get to 90, 95, 100, sitting in my rocking chair with all these regrets of what I wish I had done. Like, I want to have juicy stories. Okay. Like, honey, let me tell you about Mama. Mama was a bad mama jamma. Mama did this and that. And Mama helped these people in the community. And Mama used her gift. And then you can really not just tell your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids what to do, but you can be the model of it.
Yes.
That's our job, is to be the model of, not to just say you should do this and should do that. You should use your gifts. You should leverage your strengths and not focus on, no, okay, are you doing it? And if you're not doing it, then most likely they're not going to follow suit and they're not going to do it either. Exactly. So I could talk to you all day long because I love what you're doing. We're actually going to take a 1-minute break and we're going to be right back with none other than the amazing Anita Gibson. So stay tuned.
We have powerful words, we have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work, we're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see, yeah. I will reach my destiny, yeah. I don't need your permission, yes, I'm on a mission, I'll win. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say.
Man, I love that song, Tammy Turner. We love you, girl. We love you. Thank you so much. So we're continuing our conversation with none other than this powerhouse next to me, Anita Gibson. If you didn't know her, now you know her, and you need to connect, because I'm definitely going to connect. She's going to be like, Cheryl, really stop calling me. But before we went to our little commercial break, we were talking about the challenge of people sometimes procrastinating on what's tapping them on the shoulder and that gift that's in them, but they're making excuses, reasons, explanations, whatever you want to call it, about not moving forward. So what was it that got you off your butt and moving into this amazing gift that you clearly have?
So I was having blood pressure spikes constantly at work. They kept having to call the emergency, and I would go in and they couldn't find anything. It happened about 3 or 4 times. The last time it happened, they gave me a couple of extra tests, and the doctor walked into the room and she said, "Miss Gibson?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You have a brain tumor."
Wow.
It's like, what does a brain tumor have to do with high blood pressure?
Right.
She's like, well, it was the test that we gave you that actually that's what came up.
Wow.
You want to talk about, I was stuck. And that was in 2014. And I realized in that moment that I don't know how much more time I have. The truth is, none of us really does.
None of us, no, absolutely.
But when I got that diagnosis and had to start going to neurosurgeons and just going through this whole process, it so awoke me. I immediately got clarity on what's really important.
Amen.
You know, and I realized I better get to going on what God told me to do.
That's it.
And so that was the motivation that got me up. I'm sad in a way that that's what he had to use. But you know what? About 2 weeks before that, I had prayed this crazy prayer. I said, God, I'm tired of living this mamby-pamby life. I want to be able to enter in fully what you intended for me. Yeah. I know as I'm saying that, it could mean something really big.
Right.
And potentially to me something bad.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because at the time I was maybe like 55. It was like, if I live another 20 years, I don't want to live it like this. This is just boring and there's no spark to it.
Yes.
And so whatever you have for me, I receive it. And when that doctor walked in and said, you have a brain tumor, I said, God, I hear you. And I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do. And if I could tell you the number of students whose lives have been changed because I finally was obedient, nothing else matters.
Whew. I'm trying to cry because it's so real. Like, some of us wait until we have this, unfortunately, we get this traumatic diagnosis. or traumatic experience that happens in our lives before we wake up. Like, so that's why the whole wake up hashtag for me is like more than just, stay woke. It's wake up. Yes. Like really wake up to living.
Please.
And that's one of the reasons why I was so adamant back in 2009 about starting my journey, because I was existing. Yeah. Like, I was so sick of the routine and the rut. Yes. And I just kept thinking, like, God, there has to be something bigger, something more, something greater, like that I'm destined for. And, you're getting older and older. Yeah. So, look, as you get older, the reality is your either your mental faculties and or your physical body, right, is going to slow down. Yes. I want to be gung-ho and out in the world making impact while I can. Before I'm sitting down because of age and the effects and the impact of age. And so in 2009, I found myself in a position where I also had really a wake-up call. So I kind of started, I was, toying around with business and starting business. But then at the end, that was in the beginning of 2009. At the end of 2009, my father passed away on Thanksgiving Day. He was 59. That was the phone call I woke up to on Thanksgiving morning, was that my father had passed away of a massive heart attack in his sleep. 59? 59? Like, are you kidding me? And I will never forget what that experience felt like, and literally thinking to myself, oh my God, that's it. It's no coming back. Yes. It's no do-overs. It's no, you got to take every day as though it is the last. Yes. And you got to execute like with just madness. Like somebody, I'm a speaker. Somebody gonna hear me talk today. Every day that I wake up, somebody gonna hear me talk. It might be in the grocery store. It might be the person who's serving me at my waitress. It's Mr. Ron, my technician. Somebody gonna hear me talk today, because that's what I believe I was born to do. And that's the type of energy that we gotta, have about life. Yeah. That's living when you find a thing that you're born to do, and you don't let nothing stop you from executing it. Yeah. Nothing. But the fact that you had such a traumatic diagnosis, tell us, what's happened since then in terms of your care, your self-care, priorities, shifting priorities, saying yes to your calling. Like, walk us through that experience, because I can't even imagine.
OMG.
OMG. That's it.
Sometimes you don't know you're doing bad. And I changed all my eating habits. Yeah. I'm diabetic, and I was eating everything I wanted to eat.
See?
Just playing with it.
Yes.
And getting worse and worse and worse. And friends would be mad at me. When was the last time you checked your blood? I don't know. Well, what's your blood sugar look like? I don't know.
Wow.
And I was killing myself.
Yes.
And so all of that was like God saying, what are you doing?
Yes.
You have this valuable life I've given you. You're not caring for it. Mm-hmm. You're taking care of everybody else. But you won't take the time to check your blood to see if you are okay. Right. What is wrong with you? Mm-hmm. And so as I, really began to sit with myself, I had to ask that question. Why aren't I important? Mm-hmm. Why aren't I a priority? Why does it feel so hard to do things for me?
Yes.
And as I began to realize there's something wrong with my thinking, and that's not right. I need to change that. And so I began to take about an hour in the mornings, make sure I'm eating the right things, taking all my nutrients, checking my blood. And I was able to really get my blood sugar to a better place. I'm also have high blood pressure, but everything was kind of falling into place. I went back and checked on the brain tumor, had not grown. And that was, and so I'll have another checkup coming next year. Yes. And I'm believing if it is not either not grown or is not there.
Amen. We speaking that thing. Yes, absolutely.
So that was the best. I know this is going to sound crazy.
No, I get it. I know exactly what you're about to say.
But that brain tumor was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Isn't it amazing? Something seemingly so negative made you stop and make you a priority on the list.
It shifted everything. Yes. It gave me clarity about what was important and what did I need to do.
Yes.
And I am so thankful to God for allowing it.
Absolutely.
If that's what it took, so be it.
And so what do you, with that diagnosis and the shift, how does that impact your thought process about legacy?
Wow. So That's partly why I wrote this book.
See.
Because I need to begin to get out into the world what God has placed in me. And I think that if other moms would know the power they have to change, we are, like you used the word earlier, you said helpless. We feel so helpless as a mom. And a part of my legacy is to let moms know it's not about the government, it's not about the school, it's not necessarily even about your church. You were given to that child. And that you, with God giving that child to you, He has given you the ability to help them become whatever it is He wants them to become. You have more power than you know. And then in my book, I talk about the different things that we can do. Because we can. And we don't have to wait on nobody. We don't have to wait for the next child left behind. We don't have to wait for the school to decide what they're going to do about Common Core. We don't have to wait on anybody.
Getting into movement and being in consistent motion. And that's what I tell people, forward movement and forward motion. Because you can be in motion and you ain't doing jack. You can be in movement and you can be, as you guys have heard me say in speeches, you can be breaking a sweat and you ain't going nowhere. You ain't doing nothing. All you doing is being busy, not productive. You ain't creating legacy. You ain't impacting lives. You ain't doing none of that. You just busy. So it's a difference between busy and being productive. It's a difference between movement and forward progression. And so you want to make sure that you're not just breaking a sweat and you look busy, but that you are actually living, living, not just in life, but living life, not existing, but living. And then secondly, that you are using what's been given to you to impact other people's life, because that is a direct extension of your legacy. That's it. It's how many people can I touch? How many people... Like I said, I wake up, somebody gonna hear me speak today. Even if I'm not booked for a speaking gig, somebody gonna get a speech today. It might be my husband, it might be my kids, it might be somebody at the grocery store, somebody at the Starbucks. I don't care. Somebody's gonna experience this gift because life is too precious. And we use those words all the time. Oh, life is short. Like, child, look, when you get a diagnosis like that, Miss Gibson, you got a brain tumor. What? Now life, that gets real.
It really does.
It gets real. So talk about some of because I'm sure you have seen other women go through this whole space of procrastination. And on the opposite end of that, a lot of women go through perfection paralysis. Oh, God. It ain't perfect yet. Let me tweak it a little bit more. Whatever that thing is that you're supposed to be doing, whatever it is that is your gift that you're supposed to be sharing in the world. So, and for a lot of us, the procrastination and I believe the perfection paralysis both comes from a space of fear. So talk about some of the experiences that you've seen with other women in your own community or outside of your community who continue to let fear hold them hostage and rob them of the life that they could be living. And what are some things that you would encourage people to do to move through fear? Because I don't think we can get rid of it. No. Right? That's why I never say overcome it. I don't think you can ever overcome it or get rid of it. It's always going to be there trying to remind you that you ain't good enough.
That's true.
Like every time I take a stage, next Saturday I'm going to be in Biloxi, Mississippi, speaking in front of 350 women. A couple weeks after that, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, and then I'm somewhere else. And every time I take a stage, this fear shows up talking about, girl, you ain't got no college degree. Like, what makes you qualified to be on the stage? So fear don't go away. It's just, literally is just me facing and confronting fear every time and being willing to talk back, have a rebuttal back to fear. So what in your experiences have with your own fears and what you've seen in the community of women and how we allow fear to keep us stuck?
So you're going to have pain one way or the other. You can choose what kind of pain it will be. You can have the pain of regret.
Good.
Or you can have the pain of being afraid, shaking in your boots, and doing it anyway.
That is so good. You're going to get the pain one way or another.
You're going to get the pain.
Oh, that's so good.
You're going to get the pain waking up every morning knowing, I should have done that. Yes. You're going to get the pain when you see somebody else doing the vision that God has given you and you didn't do it.
And then, wait a minute, but then pause right there. Then got an attitude talking about that was my idea.
Well, exactly.
What happened was you didn't execute on it, so God took it from you and he gave that same vision to somebody else and they moved on it.
Exactly. So now you got the pain and you bitter.
You better say it. You got the pain and you better.
So if we have to deal with the pain, deal with the pain of being afraid. Yes. Deal with the pain of, at least I tried.
Yes.
Okay, I fell down, but I can go to death knowing I did try.
Yes.
So I don't have to wonder what was that going to be like. You know, and so it's not, you don't have to be perfect at it, but get it up to some level of excellence and then try it. You're not even going to know if it doesn't work until you try it.
That is so true.
And that's what I learned. Sometimes it's the failure that shows you what the next step is. Sometimes it's the, okay, it's not that and it's not that begins to show you, okay, so it's over here. Yeah. But I wouldn't have known it was over here if I didn't do this. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, that didn't work. But what we do is, okay, that didn't work. I'm done.
Exactly.
Okay, that didn't work. I'm finished. But no, that didn't work. But I know this is what I'm supposed to be called to. So what else can I do? How can I tweak that? And as we keep going, eventually we get to where we need to get to. So fear, right? You can't get rid of it, but it can be motivating.
Yes, it can. I mean, I'm a girl. I like a challenge. I'm just saying, something about it just makes me feel alive when I have a challenge. And I'm ready. And after that, I'm like, okay, well, what did I learn from it? Or how do I move on to the next thing? What's next, God? Whatever it is.
So when I'm standing on a stage and I'm speaking, and I'm like you, I'm like, oh God. What I say to myself is, the God that loves me, He would never set me up to embarrass me.
That's right.
So maybe I'm at this moment, I don't even know what I'm going to say, but I know the God that loves me is going to give me what I need. And so if I really believe that, He's that kind of God, and I know that He asked me, He told me to do this, everything else is done.
Everything else is done. I mean, you said so many powerful things in that, and I know this is blessing everybody who's tuned in at voxwave.com, everybody who's tuned in here with us. Thank you guys for being here. Hello, Cheryl Howard. Thanks for being here. Kiana Brown, thank you for being here. Angelia Murray, thank you for being here. Aubrey Padmore, thank you for being here. I know that this is touching you guys just as much as it's touching me. Like, I mean, this show was for me today. The whole show was specifically for Cheryl Wood. It had nothing to do with y'all. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you joined us, but it was really for me because you are speaking truth, and that's what you have to acknowledge. I believe is that which pain are you willing to experience more? You are willing to experience the pain of, okay, I'm scared, I'm shaking in my boots, my heart is racing, my palms are sweating, but I'm going to do it anyway. Or the pain of, man, I wonder what could have happened. I wonder what that could have been. I wonder if I had tried. And for some of you, it's also about not just starting, because some of y'all are real good starters. Wow. Some of y'all need to finish some stuff. I had a session with a client yesterday, and that's her whole basis of what she teaches, is teaching people how to be finishers. Like, you got to be willing to press through the hard times when you did take the risk. All right, I took the risk. It was scary. I took the risk, and then you hit a wall. You feel like you hit a wall. Yes. But are you willing to press through and to the next thing? Are you willing to? And some of us focus so much on the problem that we don't give ourselves permission to focus on the solution to it.
Exactly.
And the solution could be right there in your face, but you spend all of your time and your energy focused on the problem. And your word, the words that we speak, right? Like you said, you speaking life over this thing. Hey, when I go back, it's either not going to be there at all, or it's going to not have grown. You are claiming that and speaking that. And I believe there's so much power in our words. So what are you speaking over your own journey? Are you saying, I can't do that, I'm too scared, or I can't do that, I'm going to fail, I can't do that, I don't have enough support. All of that mess. Like, you have got to shift the dynamic of your own conversation and your own internal dialogue to know, I can do this. That is what allowed me to leave my corporate job with that good thing called direct deposit. Y'all know direct deposit is a beautiful thing, right? You show up, you don't even have to be a good, I mean, I was a good person in corporate, but you don't have to be a good employee. And you still get your check every 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, you go over to the bank and it's there again. That's a beautiful thing. That ain't how life is as an entrepreneur. You got to work and grind for that thing. But that's literally the only way I was able to really build up the boldness and the courage to walk away from what I knew my whole life to something that was seemingly had no security, that I had never done before. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. My husband thought I was cray-cray. He like, oh, you going to leave your good job, right, and your benefits, and you going to go over here and talk to people? and they going to pay you for that, huh? Right? That was scary. But every time I took a risk, it always, whether it was failure, whether it was success, it always taught me a lesson that allowed me to then go to the next level.
That's right.
And it built up confidence.
That's right.
Because I was like, okay, even when I fell down on my face, it was like, okay, I ain't die. Okay, well, they could ask that question, what's the worst that can happen? Exactly. Okay, I'm still alive,
exactly.
Which means I get to try it again.
Yes.
So I wake up the next morning. Somebody gonna hear me talk today. I'm giving a speech to somebody, even if I ain't get booked. I'm going to talk to somebody today. And that literally, I would just wake up with that type of energy every day. So as we start to kind of wrap things up, talk about the importance of, affirmation. Yes. And what you say out of your mouth and how you speak into your own journey and your own destiny. Because sometimes people think that that's a whole bunch of you just hogwash. Like, really? You're going to speak it into existence and you're going to talk it. But what has been your experience with like positive affirmation and internal dialogue?
So I'm Christian. Mm-hmm. So what the word says about me is what I'm learning to believe.
Yes.
What God says about me is what...
You just give such juicy little nuggets. I just love it. I'm going to go back and watch the replay of this.
So what God says about me is what I'm learning to walk in. Mm-hmm. And He is for us. He wants us to succeed.
Yes.
He wants us to have impact. He's placed us here for a reason. So even a problem is God. I mean, I didn't used to believe that, but now I understand that God is a gatekeeper. Mm-hmm. He only lets into my life what has purpose, no matter how horrible or awful it is. And so if He let it in, then there's something I'm supposed to get. And so when a problem hits me, I'm learning to not say, why me? Or the worst thing you can say is, why me?
Yes.
Why this? Why now?
Yeah.
Because those are all invalid questions that make you an invalid. Rather ask, God, what are you saying? And what do you want me to do? About every situation that comes into your life, it totally changes the perspective, because now it's not the problem that is the issue, but now it's, God, what are my instructions?
Right. What are my instructions? Isn't that a powerful, powerful question? God, what are my instructions?
What do I do? What do I do about this problem? What do I do about this situation that happened?
Yeah.
How do I, walk in this in a way that is honoring to you, in a way that righteousness, peace, and joy, that is the kingdom of God. Mm-hmm. And so many of us are living far beneath what God intended for us. He wants us to have peace, but we have to be willing to receive it. Sometimes the problem is God trying to give us something. Sometimes He's trying to give us peace through the problem.
Yes.
Sometimes He's trying to give us joy through the situation.
Right.
But because we get so focused in on the situation, we never look up and see Him trying to give us something beyond the situation. And so we get stuck in that situation.
I love that. You are just a powerful woman. Are you a pastor, a preacher, a reverend, or something? Something going on there.
There's a little something
there. My good friend in New York City, Dr. Stacy N.C. Grant, she always talks about being, a faith walker. Yes. And I do believe that, that is what life is built on. It's built on not just what you can see in the tangible and what you can control, but what you can't control. And what, like you said, through that gatekeeper, I love that you use that analogy. I used to be a gatekeeper for, as a legal secretary, I used to be the gatekeeper for the general counsel of this big tech firm. And you could not get in without coming through me. So I love that you use that analogy because that resonated with me. But she says it's a faith walk because you're not always going to know why.
That's right.
And that shouldn't even be the question.
That's right.
And the why me definitely shouldn't be the question because there's something that God is helping you to work on. He's shifting your perspective.
That's right.
He's building your character.
That's right.
But all of that is a faith walk to know that whatever you're going through, there's something that you are meant to learn from the experience.
That's it.
And not just for you to learn from the experience, but for then for you to teach that to somebody else. Yes. Because knowledge that's not shared is worthless.
Yes.
Right? If you gain a whole bunch of knowledge, if you gain all of this knowledge through your experience of having the brain tumor, being diagnosed with the brain tumor, and you didn't come on the show, and you didn't tell nobody else your experience and what you learned and the lessons and how you felt and how you built yourself back up and the resilience and whatever else, it's worthless.
Wow.
It doesn't help anybody, doesn't benefit anybody. So every single person who is watching the show, every person who's watching through Facebook Live, there is something that you know that somebody else is waiting for. There's something that you know. And stop diminishing what you know because it don't come with a big title. Because it doesn't come with, all of these letters behind my name. Like, it doesn't have to be connected to that. Right. What do you know and have you learned through your personal life experience? And you don't deflate that. You don't diminish that. You stand on that firmly and knowing that if I share this with somebody else's life is going to be better, or they're going to know that they're not alone, or they're going to be able to make it through that dark period that they're in. Because there is somebody right now who is curled up in a corner in a ball and feeling like they're in the darkest place they have ever been in. But you already been through it and come out on the other side. Okay. Smiling. Tell me, I made it through. I made it through. Now, how selfish are you not to share what you went through so that they can come out of that dark space? So that's the power of your story and taking ownership of what you've been through and what you've gone through. I did not expect that we were going to have this long of a conversation, but you have just drawn me in. I love your energy. I love everything about what you stand for and represent. I love hearing about your journey and how you have used that journey and allowed it to shift you. You are a powerful woman. And I thank you for coming and being with us today and blessing us. And we'll go back and read some of the comments that people are leaving on Facebook. Thank you guys for being here. Tori Ball, thank you for being here. Karima Love, thank you for being here. There are a whole bunch of other folks. We don't have time. Kim Brewington, thank you so much for being here. Nika Corbett, Rhonda, Diva Moore. Thank you guys. I know this has blessed your heart and your spirit and your soul like it has blessed mine. How do people get in touch with you? How do they stay connected to get all of this juiciness that you're dishing out in the world?
So on most social medias, Anita Gibson, EDU.
EDU. Okay,
EDU.
got it. And that's and what on Instagram? Are you on Instagram?
LinkedIn, Facebook, and
great.
Twitter.
Got it.
And then you can visit my website, AnitaGibson.com. And some of the trainings that I do are on that website. I think that's it. And then the Starfinder book is available on Amazon.
And I will show that also to folks here. Guys, get yourself a copy. Oh my God, it's going to bless you. It's going to bless me. It's going to bless my friend. You have been a blessing. Thank you so much for being with us. Guys, that's it for today's show. We will be back again next Wednesday. Same time, same place, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Impact the World Radio on VoxWave. And so make sure that you mark your calendar and join us next Wednesday. We'll see you then.
We have powerful words, we have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work, we're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over.